At this time, please press the pause button to stop this video and review each step. Welcome to the 2016 Compliance HMO Operations Refresher for the Washington Township Fire Department, specifically responding to natural gas emergencies. Natural gas related calls are common calls for almost every fire department across the country. Whether it's gas in the area or an actual release, will be something you will be confronted with at one point in your career. A natural gas incident should be treated as a hazmat incident in addition to the suppression issue it may pose. Typically, a lot of these calls go without any incidents and usually pose no threat to the responder or the community. However, a lack of understanding and complacency will eventually lead to disaster. On the following video, you will see firefighters that have responded to a report of a gas leak at a strip mall. They are in the process of ventilating the building while a gas employee was securing the gas to the building when it exploded. This occurred in Forestville, Maryland on May 7th, 2009. 8 firefighters and one gas company employee were injured when it exploded. As you will see in this video, the explosion actually occurring. Please take notice of the front windows and the roof structure and the amount of damage it caused. The next video is from New Jersey, where a dash cam captures the explosion of a house. Notice the amount of debris. Hence, it is critical that firefighters do not position their apparatus or vehicles in front of a structure. Always stage in a safe distance, away from the reported address. The next video you will see is from a motel in Washington State. There will be 2 angles on this video. Notice the amount of damage and the debris field it produces upon the explosion. So what is natural gas? Take a few minutes to review the below listed bullet points. Understand that natural gas is mostly comprised of methane, a colorless and odorless gas. Because it is odorless, methyl mercaptan is usually added to assist the end user in identifying it. It can be identified and expressed as a rotten egg or cabbage smell. Please take a few moments to review the following bullet points. Keep in mind, natural gas has a flammable range of 5 to 15% in air. Also, it is very important to understand that natural gas is lighter than air and will rise rapidly when not confined inside a structure. Unlike propane, where propane is heavier than air, it will go in low-lying areas such as a basement. This needs to be considered when investigating a report of natural gas inside of a structure. When called to an odor of natural gas, firefighters should be aware that if the gas is released underground, it is known to travel hundreds of feet, following natural cracks in the soil and voids around pipes. Never dismiss complaints from neighbors who smell gas several houses away from the determined leak. Firefighters need to understand there are different types of gas meter configurations. This is based upon the requirements of each occupancy for the amount of gas and the pressures that are utilized for that specific building. Because of the differences, it is important that you pre-plan for the various types of gas meters in your response area. The only valve firefighters should be shutting off is the meter shutoff valve located on the piping just before it enters the actual meter. Never isolate any other valves. The fire department will never turn the meter back on. The following slides are strictly guidelines in response to natural gas incidents. Natural gas responses can last from several minutes to several hours, and often is a direct result of how long the gas company will take to respond to the event. Always evaluate hazards presented on the scene and provide the adequate resources to handle them. For example, a gas leak at a construction site with no life hazard issues or ignition sources may not be as critical as a gas leak inside a nursing home that is occupied that will require additional resources. Always consider full structural responses in the event you have a report of a gas leak inside of a structure. A common call we respond to is a report of an odor of gas outside of a structure. Natural gas lines are commonly cut by contractors and or homeowners performing work near buried lines. It is important to try to get as much information as possible when responding to these events. Your first priority after arriving safely and staging your apparatus at a safe distance is to identify where the leak is coming from and then isolate the area accordingly. Remember, anyone that is going to do any type of digging or construction in the area of utilities, they must be properly marked. There is a nationwide number, 811, call before you dig. It's a free service that will come out and mark all utilities in the area of the excavation or construction. There is a universal color code chart that you will see here on this slide. Take note that gas or petroleum pipelines are marked yellow. Always isolate the immediate area and deny entry. Please take a moment to review the following bullet points. Always remember weather is a consideration on how the natural gas will behave. Also, if any structures are near the exterior leak, that leak may travel through the ground or through pipe chases and end up inside homes in the area of that leak. It is important that fire department members use metering equipment to check for natural gas inside the structures. Unlike exterior leaks, leaks inside of a structure pose a far greater risk than those outside. These calls should be handled not only with caution, but with the proper equipment. Again, these type of incidents may require a full structural response. Gather as much information as possible from the dispatcher. Ensure that callers have evacuated the structure while en route. Always, always, always stage apparatus at a safe distance and not parked in front of the structure in question. The following are some questions you can ask during an interview from those who reported a gas leak inside a structure. Ask them if all occupants are out of the structure. Do any occupants feel ill, and if so, notify EMS. What was the time of the odor first detected, and is it localized or throughout the structure? What appliances use natural gas, and has there been any work in or around the structure or appliances recently? Firefighters should be familiar with their metering and monitoring equipment they have within their agencies. Always use a meter to check for gas prior to entering the structure. Your nose will only last a short time until it becomes desensitized or saturated. Always attempt to back up or confirm the meters by using multiple meters. Always refer to the manufacturer's operating instructions to determine the proper methods for metering for natural gas. Also be aware of your calibration gas that your meter system uses. It will cause different readings specific to natural gas. Remember, our meters will go on alarm at 10% of the LEL. 10% of the LEL for methane is 0.5%. Now that you have completed part 1 of the 3-part Hazmat Operations Refresher series, you may now proceed to step 2, which is taking the online exam, which can be found on the .org website. Should you have any questions, you can contact the Training Division at 856-863-4019. The information provided in this presentation was taken from the Carolina Fire Journal magazine on an article written by Jason Cruzen, Understanding Natural Gas Emergencies.